Sure. So the PAPILLON trial is a randomized international phase 3 study of Amivantamab plus chemotherapy. You remember, Amivantamab is an EGFR and MET bispecific approved previously in the second line for EGFR exon 20 insertion. And that was the study arm, Amivantamab plus chemo versus chemotherapy alone. So over 300 patients randomized 1-to-1 to those two arms. Important to note, patients were allowed to cross over from the control arm into the treatment arm on progression. Primary endpoint here was median progression-free survival by the blinded independent central review. And there were many other secondary endpoints, of which PRO's patient-reported outcomes were them. And we'll discuss those in large detail today. The primary endpoint for this trial was quite impressive. It was a 0.4 hazard ratio, in the sense that if you received Amivantamab plus chemotherapy, median progression-free survival was about 11.4 months versus chemotherapy alone about 6.7 months. So nearly doubling of the median progression-free survival. We also saw improvement in objective response rates in that 73% range versus that 40% range for the control arm. And overall survival still immature, about 33% mature at the time of presentation at ESMO. But despite 66%, 2/3 of patients crossing over from the control arm, right, from chemotherapy alone to receive Amivantamab in the second line, there still seemed to be a trend towards an improvement in overall survival with a hazard ratio of about 0.8. So really look forward to seeing that data moving forward. This regimen has since been approved in the United States as a frontline regimen for patients with EGFR exon 20. So on March 1st, 2024, we saw the FDA label for this PAPILLON regimen as a new standard of care for patients with EGFR exon 20 mutant non-small cell lung cancer.